Let's open up the map for the first time. Okay, so here is the regional map of Arconus. We can do this too.
Nope,
So
still can't hear it. Oh well, I don't need to hear it. Oh, there it goes.
all right.
Give it a second.
So, as you can see, here is the regional map of Arconus, far to the right. And this, of course, is just the currently found and explored areas of Arconus, as per on the stream. So, over here to the right side, you can see Mindenbrook, where we had our last campaign. If you go southwards and follow the road to the west, you can see Iridian. And head up north from Iridian, through Tannerton, through Hemsdale, you will see the town of Rockhelm. Now, Rockhelm was unfortunately ravaged during the war. Cybermonkey, thanks for the cheer, dude. Rockhelm was ravaged during the war with the forces of Drakkar. It was pretty much decimated. Everybody that was still there was killed. Most of them were told to leave. Many did. Some did not. However, since then, it has been almost a year. Rockhelm has received some new dwellers. People are slowly trying to get life in the northern parts of Arconus back on track. And this is where our story begins tonight. So, basically what has happened so far. Our heroes all have been doing their own thing pretty much for a year. What's gonna, all of that will become apparent over time, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll find out from them what they've been doing. But we join our heroes as they arrive outside the gates of Rockhelm one afternoon. It is winter, because this literally is happening right off the back of Mindenbrook's Sorrow. So it's still winter. The ground has a thick layer of frost. Even though it's afternoon and the sun is at its highest, there's a little bit of warmth coming from the sun, but the general feel is of a cold and unpleasant winter's chill. As you approach the gates, you can see two bedraggled guards wrapped in furs, holding pikes. They have cloth wrapped around their hands just to stop them getting frostbite. And as you approach, you realize that these two guards, they're a little wet behind the ears. They're probably no more than 17 at best. They're pretty young, but you can see them standing there as you start to walk up.
Hail!
Oh, bloody well hope not. It's cold enough without hail.
No, it means hello.
Oh, hello, miss. With that, the other one kind of, you see his eyes wake up, and he's like, one second. And you see him walk over and elbow the other one. He goes, it's Tim. I bet that's Tim. He goes, what, already? He goes, yeah, probably. Who goes there? Could you please identify yourself?
Could you just open the gate for us, please? We have a lot to do.
Well, that wouldn't be particularly safe, would it? Just to let absolutely anybody in. Proper guards would at least want to know who's entering the town.
It sounds like you already know who we are, I'll be honest.
Well, we might have a suspicion, but if you are who I think we are, and we let you in without challenging you, we're probably going to be in trouble. So, we're doing this by the book.
You're challenging us?
No. A challenge, as in Marlo. Asking you who you are and stuff.
That's great. That's great that you guys are following the rules.
So, who are you then?
I'm Marlo.
Well, it's nice to meet you, ma'am.
My name is Radovan Rainier.
And are we to assume then that that lady over there in the fine purple robe is Miss Keeliana?
You're a smart lad.
Very
Open.
smart.
Welcome to Rockhelm, my lord, my ladies. If you happily step this way, and he opens the iron gate, pushes it aside. As it goes backwards, you notice the top hinge is not even connected. He has to kind of like steadily push it, and it kind of goes in like juts as it grinds along the graveled floor to get it out to enough room across where you can enter.
You know, if you guys spar, you could probably stay warmer.
Well, but then we wouldn't be being vigilant, you see. It's important we stay vigilant.
Gore, can we get put on the map, please?
No,
Okay.
there is no map. Besides, you weren't
Okay.
in Rockhelm yet.
Are there enough blankets in this town? Do you guys need one?
I mean, they're wrapped warm. They just don't have proper
there's
gloves.
no-
I mean, their hands are wrapped with white cloth.
Oh, they're gloves. All
Yeah.
right. I'm just going to take note of that.
I'm going to turn to Kia and Marlo and say, probably it would be prudent to make sure they're equipped properly. Maybe build a hut or
Right.
something for the cold winter.
They can't protect this place without gloves.
I still say real men would just... They would just spar with each other and keep their skills sharp as well as stay warm.
They're
Kill
a
two
few
birds
years,
with one stone.
Marlo, they're a few years shy of real men. I think they still have a little growing to do. and then I'm going to turn to the guards and say, no offense,
Growing.
None taken, my lord.
but we do want you to be warm and at least comfortable while you're on watch.
That's very kind of, but benevolent of you, sir.
Oh my god. Kia, can't you do something just temporarily so they're warm?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Well, I'm not saying you can burn them alive, but
Are there any metal barrels? I could create a fire. You can put a fire near yourself. Keep warm.
If you think that's best, ma'am.
I do. You're not going to protect this city looking like this.
We'll when we get off, we'll build a fire immediately.
All right. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just suggesting.
If you think we should have a fire, then we will definitely build a fire.
You do you.
You do you.
Is there someone in this town that's expecting us that we need to see first?
Yes, sir. Chandler Hendon.
Charles Hendon. Let's go.
Charlotte?
Chandler Hendon.
Chandler?
Hendon.
Hendon?
Yes, ma'am.
Hendon.
Hendon?
Hendon.
Hendon.
I would spell it for
Who
you,
is supposed
ma'am,
to relieve you of your post?
I can't read.
I understand. How much longer till your post is over?
We get off at sundown, ma'am.
I suggest you go find replacements now.
Begging your pardon, ma'am, but there's not but 6 guards been appointed.
It's not
Look,
enough.
nothing is going to happen to this town now that we're here.
That's right.
If you order us to leave our post, sir, then we absolutely would happily do so. But we can't leave until sundown without your say so,
And
sir.
it's late afternoon?
Yeah, probably got
say
about another
so?
couple of hours.
Why
Okay.
our say so?
Marlo, really?
But as far as we understood, you 3 are now the official lords and ladies over Rockhelm. You are the
Oh.
new governors.
Right.
Something like that? Yes.
All right, let's go see this Charles.
If you start turning blue, please retire from your
You
posts.
can find him in the tavern, sir.
What's the
Was
tavern
it
called?
Charles? I thought it was
Here?
Chandler.
Chandler.
Chandler. You, the rock and trader, sir.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Before I leave, I'm gonna go to the one that's shivering the most,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast a spell.
All right.
Ooh.
I can't click myself. God damn it. Oh, this overland map, I can't click my spell.
Hang on. I can fix that.
And
You'd be
I'm
able to click yourself for spells?
I
Yeah,
can
but-
rectify that.
I have the
Rectum?
macros.
Yeah, I can rectify that. There, click that.
Click. Oh. So before I do, I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and I'm going to say, would you like me to make sure you can survive in comfort for the rest of the stay?
That would be very kind of you, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to cast Endure Elements.
All right.
And I'm just...
Okey-dokey. Well, obviously he's not trying to resist it, so it works.
And then-
And is that... No, that's... you just casting it on one or both?
I can only do it once, so I'm only doing it on him.
Okay, all right. Well, almost immediately, the color comes back to his cheeks, and he's like, "Oh, I must say that's altogether better, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Very kind of you, my lord."
I'm going to turn to the other one who's shivering, and I'm going to say, you're going to go indoors and warm up while this guy carries out the rest of the watch.
Absolutely, sir. That he goes, "Thank you, my lord."
And by the time you are relieved, you're going to fetch wood and start a fire and keep the next batch of guards warm. Can't have frostbite while on watch.
Very, very good, sir. I will see to it as soon as I. Oh, you want him when he's warm, or me when I get off?
When you get off,
Light the fire.
yes,
Yes, sir.
for your replacements.
I will do, my lord. Thank you, sir.
Now we can go. I'm going to say to Marlo and Kia.
To Radavan and
All right.
Already
So you
helping this
leave the
town. Good
bedraggled
job.
wretches. So as you walk in Rockhair, remember you guys have all been here before. Glancing around, you can see several of the buildings are still in serious disrepair, where fires have ravaged them from the inside out. A lot of them have been, repaired. When you were here last time, you remember to the north there was a large kind of expansed cornfield inside the main wall. That is nothing but a blackened pile of dirt now. And there are no animals baying from the livestock pens to the far right as you walk in through the gates.
No.
Oh, where am I going to sleep?
We'll head towards the rock and.
All right. You remember where that is, of course. It's right there in the center of town. Okay. So you arrive outside the Rock and Trader.
Rock and Trader. Trader?
Trader.
Oh, Trader.
If you when you were here last time, if you remember, north
Oh,
of here,
yeah.
this place has a huge trade hall. It was kind of like the central trade hub.
Yeah.
Isn't there where I got in a fight? Well, I didn't get in a fight. I wanted to get in a fight.
This is where you almost
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
Where you got decked by a ginormous Bloodhorns
Blood?
tribe barbarian. Yes, this is the place where they were carrying one of the Harns Plains tribes girls
The
into
Harrier
slavery.
Tribe. Yeah.
That's right, the Harrier tribe.
Cool, cool. Alright. I'm gonna take off my hood and then walk in.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
You make your way into the tavern and are immediately hit by a wave of warmth and the smell of roast pork. Right, Cal leaps down out of your bag onto the
Go,
ground.
Cal. I'll go get your bull.
Alrighty. Yeah, in the far left-hand corner of this room, there is a massive open fireplace loaded with coals. It is a beautiful, warm feeling after all the freezing weather that you've endured to get from the south down to this, or up into this particular area.
Okay. I think we'd probably make our way to the barkeep to inquire of our Chandler Hendon.
All right. As you walk in, a fairly well, in fact, the only fairly well-dressed individual in this place, who is sitting in front of the fire, stands up with his bright eyes. He has he kind of has black but slightly graying hair, a goatee much like mine, more gray hair than anything else. He's wearing kind of like a leather jerkin with winged shoulder pads. Looks like some kind of reject from, the 80s. But basically, as you walk
From
in,
Labyrinth.
yeah, right. He walks over and kind of hovers around you.
Evening. Chandler?
Yes. Which one are you? Are you Miss Liana, or are you the Knight Marlowe?
I am Lady Kia Liana. You can just call me Kia.
Oh, that would hardly be appropriate, my lady.
What would you like to call me?
Approach.
Well, unless you insist I call you something else, my lady would suffice. After all, that is the proper term for one of your appointment, is it not?
I suppose, but I like my friends to call me Kia.
Cal rudely leaps up on the bar and goes over, walks right along the bar to the barkeep and just stands there. Meow! Meow!
Oh, I'm gonna turn around and be like, Cal, stop. I said I'd get your bowl in a second.
Okay. Telepathically, Cal says to you, I'm thirsty.
Okay, I'm gonna nod over to Radovan and Marlowe and then go take care of getting Cal water and stuff.
Okay.
Without hesitation.
I'm going to approach and hold out my hand to be shook and say, greetings.
Instead of shaking your hand, he takes it by the tip and bows. My lord. I have been well versed in things to tell you, and we have done the absolute best we can with the slim resources to make ready for your arrival. We've made sure that the nicest establishment has been refitted and made suitable for your accommodation. And dare I say, I took the liberty of gutting one of the other houses, and we have turned it into a makeshift town hall for you, sir.
That was actually going to be the first thing I asked. Place to practice and get to work. So that is good news to hear.
If there is anything you would like to know, my lord, I will be your humble servant. From what I was told, you are here until only in the short term, until the actual appointed governor arrives. I understand he is having to take care of some matters, and you are governing in his stead until he should be free.
That is correct. The king sent us here to fill in, get things set up, probably worked out, because I imagine you have encountered problems with the surrounding area.
Well, yes, sir. We've had a lot of issues. Primarily a lot of things that prohibit Rockhelm from getting itself back on its feet. I know you must be tired, and I wouldn't want to bore you and bother you at this late hour, so if you would like to get a full briefing from me in the morning, I would understand.
How about after we get some food, you show us this town hall, and then sure enough, I will be there. We will show up tomorrow for you to brief us in full.
Yes, absolutely. If you would like to find your way to one of the more comfortable booths over on the far side there, we'll make sure that we can get you immediately taken care of.
Okay, that'll do. I'm going to look to see what Marlowe and Kia are doing.
You know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm getting
Kia
water.
is basically...
And
so you've gone
Marlo?
up to the bar, and the barkeep is standing
Marlo's
there
just
polishing
kinda
his
standing over
mug.
here, staring at the tables over here.
I'm gonna nod and go to where Marlo is and say, "We can sit down, you know, Marlo."
Yeah, this spot right here brings back fond memories to
I
Marlo.
know.
Can we not sit over here? Can we sit on that side?
Fine. It's not that big a deal, but that was in the past. We have accomplished much since then, so.
Yeah, but I can't ever go back to that moment.
Go ahead, if you will, Marlo. And I'm going to ask you to make a skill check for me.
All right.
All right. And I would like you to make a spot check, please.
Ooh, spot. It's back.
I know the spot check. Where
The
did it
spot
go?
check is back.
Lots and lots of joyous skills. No longer have to guess. A 24. Okay. You notice right
didn't see
here.
I didn't see a roll.
Did you set up where the 3D dice will roll for you?
Is it a whispered one?
Yeah, I have it set up.
Spot,
Yeah, it's a
spot
it's
check's a
whispered.
whisper, so you don't get
Damn
to
it.
see it. It comes to us.
Oh.
That's right. It's one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, they were changed. Some of the skills were changed to where the players don't necessarily get to see what the rolls are. I do. All right. About here on the ground, you notice a faint brown stain.
Yeah, let's.
At one point, it was
yeah.
red, and you remember bleeding it.
I'm just gonna start making my way up, way across the bar.
With a sigh, with an audible sigh, I'm just gonna follow.
All right, so
Okay.
you guys make your way to the table on the other side.
Probably gotten my water by this point.
All right.
And headed that way.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out my sake cup.
Are you leaving
yeah.
Callan his bowl of milk on the bar, or are you taking it with you?
No. He would probably come with us.
All right. Okay. All right. With that, you notice that Chandler goes over to the waitress in the far corner. Anyone want give me a listen check?
Yes. Would love to.
Alrighty.
Ooh, I got a 20!
Yes, we're gonna
Does it
win.
count? Does it count? Does it count?
I gotta find mine. Oh, hang on. Let me just turn this on. I just realized there's one thing I forgot to enable.
Sorry guys, guess I should have
Playing.
started a fight with the guards.
Punch some flurry
One
bros
vote.
one, flurry bros another.
I can warm you up. Come on, guys.
Get the blood rushing to where you punch. Yeah.
What do my elven ears hear?
Nothing apparently. There we go.
Natural 20!
All right.
Wow.
Okay. So Jane Ivana
No,
already.
barely anyone voted for me, but... Ah, 4 people. Yay!
I'm sorry,
Oh,
guys.
man.
I failed you.
That's okay. We'll make up for it later.
Right. So there you go. Jane is the first natural 20 of the campaign, officially on the board.
Sweet.
Look at you go.
F you all, I'm gonna win this trophy! With my sorceress!
Right.
That would be freaking amazing.
How
know,
come
I-
yours rolled and theirs didn't?
Mine rolled.
Oh, did it?
Mine rolled too.
Oh, the listen checks. That's right. It was the spot check that didn't. Okay. All right. Kia Liana, you overhear him very quietly whispering to the waitress. He says, just so you know, miss, those are the newly appointed lords and ladies of Rockhelmer. Make sure you mind your manners.
Okay.
And with
Solid.
that, she comes wandering over. curtsying when she gets to the table. My lords and ladies, my lord and ladies, I beg your pardon. What may I get for you this fine winter's eve?
Good evening. What's your name?
Victoria Burrows, miss. Sorry, ma'am.
Nice to meet you, Victoria. My name is Kia. And I'm gonna gesture to the other two.
Oh, there's not a person here in town who is not fully aware of your reputations.
Ah,
Oh, no.
I will have a bottle of whiskey and the finest meat that your fine establishment can offer or provide.
Mead, I'm afraid, is in short supply. I don't mean to offend. Whiskey we can do.
Victoria, was it?
Whiskey will do
yes,
fine.
Yes, m'lady. Sir, m'lady.
Relax. It's all right. You don't have to. With the lords and the ladies, it's fine.
I appreciate your kindness, ma'am, m'lady.
Just keep in mind that we have spent most of our lives not as lords and ladies, so we are
Guys,
more
if she
accustomed
feels-
to.
she feels comfortable calling us lords and ladies. It's okay.
I know.
It doesn't seem like she's comfortable at all. I don't
Well,
like
it's-
people being uncomfortable around me.
It's not
beyond
often
match.
that we are visited by gentry and ladies, and of course, especially those that earned their titles instead of were born to them.
Fair enough. I'll just have whatever the cook is making, and if you have any fish in a bowl or something, that'd be great.
I'm afraid we do not have any fish, ma'am.
Any meat?
We were fortunate enough to purchase a pig here recently, and there is some of that available if you would like. Roast pig, boar, m'lady.
Yes, that will do.
And
That'll do fine as well for me.
So
me too.
a bottle of whiskey. You said you'd like water, miss, ma'am.
Just water and the pig.
And for you, ma'am, m'lady.
Do you have bread and cheese?
Bread and cheese we can do, ma'am. Yes.
And do you have any other spirits besides whiskey?
We do
I'm gonna say this
indeed-
looking really hopeful.
We do have some rum.
We do have some sake.
Oh,
Yeah, no one else would
rum,
drink that piss. No.
Rum will work.
Very well then. I will bring you a glass of rum. If I may beg your pardon and leave.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, she ushers her way quickly over to the bar and begins furiously rushing around and getting your drinks together and trying to make your
gonna
food.
Lean in and be like, man, this is so difficult.
I'm never. gonna
Everyone's
get
so
used to this.
nervous. How do
Imagine,
we make them feel more at ease?
imagine going to town after town on your pilgrimage, restoring law and order from west to east, with this being every day.
Ugh. That's why I
I
stayed
mean,
in Meridian.
at least you went elsewhere.
Are you
Where
putting
did
it-
you? Yes.
I stayed in Iridian for most of it. The time that you left, I didn't want
Oh.
to travel elsewhere. There was plenty to do in Iridian.
Oh, I bet it was really bad in Iridian. Being a war hero or whatever.
Well, yes, I did get a lot of praise. I don't mind it, but I did get a lot of work done there. So nobody was as nervous, though. They knew how to treat nobles since they're around them a lot more.
I never treated the nobles like this.
Yeah,
You didn't
I,
respect them.
I seem to recall you socking one in the face.
But yeah, well, I mean, he deserved it.
Be that as it may, you are aware that you got off easy.
So did he.
What is the law for that? What is it, Radovan? If a commoner hurts a noble, what happens to them?
if a commoner hits a noble, well, first offense, it's 10 to 20 years imprisonment
Oh,
for a commoner to hit a nobleman.
you are very lucky, Marlo.
Knowing Marlo, if she did it a second time, she would be in prison forever, for life.
Now, what if a noble hits another
That was
noble?
then. This is now.
Noble versus another noble, it's all
Yes.
it's all financial.
Huh.
500 GP to the victim, some marks against your
I don't like the laws.
patents.
Um,
Well, we got off easy back in the day, but as commoners.
Oh,
with a lot
speaking
what
of
we did.
which, yes. That's something that all of you all have, so you can mark it on your inventory. You now officially have a Patent of Nobility, which basically is a document that says that that your family name is noble. Each of you are the first of your lineage. So there is only one name, so you
the only of my lineage.
you come from nothing. But should you have kids, they're automatically part of that patent, you see. They're born into it now.
Kids, that's
So if any of you should have offspring, they will now officially be of a noble line.
Keovan.
But one of the things that happens, your great deeds are noted on your patents of nobility,
Oh, jeez.
as are any marks that you get against you. So should you do anything dishonorable or whatever, they put a mark against your patents, which to a noble is a pretty serious thing because it tarnishes their family name forever. So
Okay.
it's in normal noble societies. The patents of nobility is something that is taken extremely seriously.
I'm going to grin and say, Radovan, show me your patent of nobility. Let me see what's on there so far. wanna see it.
Only you and Marlo can get this out of me. It's
Yes.
funny, Kia. It hurts to smile now. Where's
Come
that
on.
whiskey? I'm not showing you my patents.
Why
Kia.
not?
It's ridiculous. Look.
I'm sure it looks much like yours.
Okay.
I just want to see what great deeds he's done this past year.
Oh, there's nothing on there except for the stuff that you did in the war.
Nothing?
Nothing, tra-la-la.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. Basically, that's all you guys have really... That's all that has been recorded on your patences, anyway. You have to go to a royal scribe to get other stuff recorded.
We need to go to a royal scribe soon.
But in any case, she brings over a bottle of whiskey in a glass, a large mug of rum, and your plates of food, and your water.
Okay. I'll kind of
Thank
take some off my plate, put it by Cal.
Okay, it looked like Cal was already going towards your plate when you did it, so you stopped him about half
What
a
a
second. Half a second before he
Cal,
got
we
his
have an
face in
agreement.
your plate
You don't eat my
anyway.
food, and I provide your food. Don't you? Alright.
Look, I'm just, from experience, this is not going to be fun, what we're going to do and what we're going to have to do. I know it'll probably be frustrating. But I say we work together, we get whatever needs to be done in this town done, so we can be done. Agreed?
Doesn't look like there's anybody to be worthy to fight against anyway here.
Well, perhaps this place should not be where you try to pick a fight, Marlo.
No, I'm not gonna pick a fight. I'm not gonna make somebody fight me who doesn't want to fight me. I mean,
Well, even if they want to fight you, I would highly suggest you refrain.
if they want to fight me, you're telling me to decline the fight? That
It won't be a fair fight.
Marlo, you have to remember people will be looking at you everywhere you go here. You have to show them a leader. And yes, leaders do fight, but probably not
Well, they lead.
raging barbarians.
yeah, but leading's not really
For
my
money.
thing. That's more what you two do. Like,
Well, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you're forced into responsibilities, and That's how I feel too, so suck it up, bitch. I say that very lovingly.
I'm smart enough to lead people.
How do you say that lovingly?
Suck it up.
You call your best friends your bitches.
Is that an elven tradition?
Yeah.
It's a high elven thing.
Perhaps we've seen the guards in this place. Marlo, probably they need more training anyway, so
That's
maybe
right.
teach
He's
them.
right, he's
I would
right.
have no problem with you getting those 6 young guards up to a better standard.
You find
Yeah, but
how
then
you
all
lead
their
best.
training is done with the armor and the weapons. And
Come on.
Haven't you been working on something that incorporates Radovan's type of fighting?
I have been showing you. You have worn my armor a few times in the past year to.
yeah,
get a
and it's
sense of
very
it.
cumbersome. And like, I don't see how they do it.
Well, I've obviously shown you how they do it. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, it's too different. I mean, I'm working on like getting them to be able to fight against other people like that, but
Well, I'm sure you can show them some technique or move that doesn't rely upon armor for protection. That they would probably be handy for them to know.
just
It's
looking
true.
at how they were struggling out there with all of the stuff they were wearing, they're gonna freeze to death if I try to teach them how to fight.
Well, perhaps we should. Hopefully, the rest of the deeds that we have to do here are not overwhelming to us. Perhaps we can find a healthy
Right.
alternative for both of us.
Baby steps.
Things they can wear that protect them according to what I would be happy with, but leave them limber enough for perhaps you to teach them techniques that would make them more able.
But see, sparring with them isn't allowed, right? I
Well, if
can't.
you're teaching them maybe some light sparring, right, Radovan? There's a compromise here.
Your very fists can probably do more damage than my weapon. So, a punch from you is
You
something
dragons
else.
died because of your fist, so just be careful, please.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't try to kill them or anything. It's
Just pretend like they are literally 5 years old when you're sparring with them.
never sparred with a 5-year-old before.
Well, just think about it.
Look, if one of them happens to die by your punch, just know that I will be collecting 1,000 gold pieces from you. 'Cause
Should I just
that
give
would
it to
be the
you
punishment.
now? I think that I can't control myself.
Well,
Well, it would be more if it, given the circumstances, but yes. Let's just eat and
It's okay to fight
Okay.
people if they agree to it.
Not
It's
according to
going
Rodney.
up
He
and
told me I
randomly
couldn't if they
punching
wanted to
people
fight
that's
me.
not okay, right?
yeah,
just-
so... Oh, Chips, what did he say?
Are you going to endure the outdoors tonight to sleep, Marlo, or are you going to come to where we are set up? Because it is cold out there.
That's not the problem. I don't want to run into people.
Well, then I highly suggest you stick with us. As uncomfortable as we may be. You stay outside, you're going to attract attention.
Yeah, and I don't want more of this. I'm gonna gesture towards Victoria.
She immediately comes ushering over. In fact, her and Chandler are both watching your table inanely, like waiting for you to so much as desire or require anything. And they're immediately off, come straight to you.
Oh, God. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Milady?
Another water, please.
Absolutely. And anything for anybody else?
No, this
no,
is...
no. Thank you, Victoria. No.
Very well, I'll be right back. And she curtsies.
Thanks.
May I leave?
Yes.
Of
you
course.
leave.
Okay, she heads off. Quickly fills up a glass, and he fills up your glass with water, and comes straight back with the glass and the pitcher,
Okay.
and she puts both down in
Okay.
front of you.
I'm going to lean into Kia looking at Marlo, and I'm just going to say, I love it. She's going to practice her martial arts outside, and everyone's going to come over thinking she's gesturing to them.
Oh, do you really think that's gonna happen? Oh.
I'm going to elbow Kia kind of as I go back to drinking my whiskey and eating my food.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go quiet again as I
I
eat.
think we'll finish dinner and move on.
Yeah, Marley's just gonna look very conflicted the whole time now.
All right. Well, the Chandler fellow seems to be waiting, just with on bated breath, like he's
Okay.
watching all of you. As soon as
Yeah.
you seem like you finish, you've pushed your plates and everything away, he immediately comes wandering over to the side of the table and says, "When you're ready to retire, I can lead you to the house that we have had prepared for your lordships."
Then let's go. I'm gonna get up.
The same.
I guess I'm gonna follow. So I don't want anybody asking me any questions or calling me lady again.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
okay.
open my bag for Cal to jump in.
He
and put my
leaps
hood
in.
back up.
And you guys all venture out the door. Okay. He takes you down the main street. Not far at all. And basically crosses over to this building right here. Indeed, it is probably the nicest looking building in town apart from the tavern itself. As soon as he gets it, he hands you a key. I assure you that there are no duplicates to this key have been made.
Thank you.
This'll do. Thank you.
Well, what time should I meet you tomorrow morning? I'll come and fetch you to take you to the town hall.
Sun up would be okay.
Sun up. Very, very well.
I guess we're starting early.
I don't know how time works besides the sun up.
Sun up, sun down.
I don't know what you think we can do in here. It's getting up and doing something is usually up when the sun comes up anyway. It's fine. You'll get used to it.
All right.
There's a lot to do, and there's a lot to do. I'm gonna open the door with the key. Open it. Enter.
Alrighty. So you walk in. There is a faint kind of burnt smell. It's not strong, but you can smell it. You feel fairly confident within an hour or so you'll just get used to it.
Home sweet home.
I'll take the big bed. Just kidding. I'm gonna look up and think for a second and say, never mind, I'll take a smaller one.
Why don't you just push the two beds together?
Are you not taking a bed?
Beds.
Seriously, still? Haven't gotten used to it yet?
It'll make you soft.
Yes,
Well.
it clearly did that to me.
I don't feel very soft.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go home one day and, like, beds aren't... I don't want to get used to it.
Fair. I'm gonna enjoy it while I can.
I'm just gonna watch them too as they leave.
All right.
Just go into my own room.
What I will tell you is it's bloody cold in here. A fire has not been lit, neither in the living area or in the kitchen.
Okay. I'd probably go ahead and light the fire very quickly with just a spell. With a fireball.
And blow the back of the house out. You're going to need something to burn then.
Oh, we
there's
don't have
nothing-
wood,
There's
huh?
nothing in
No.
there? Oh, shit.
No, the house is fairly pristine, but they obviously were not aware that you were coming, and if Chandler had not been so busy watching you guys to make sure he didn't miss an opportunity to be summoned, he could have
Right.
possibly arranged for the fires to be lit, but that didn't occur by the looks of it.
Radavan!
I'm checking the windows to make sure they latch properly and close with the shutters and.
In fact, yes, the shutters look like they've recently been installed. They're nice and new.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it illegal for me to burn one of these chairs in here? Because there's no wood. I mean, I have money. If that's illegal.
Technically, everything in this house belongs to you, so do what you want with it.
I'm just staring really blankly at Marlowe, and I'm just. Are you serious?
Well, there's no wood, and to start a fire, I mean.
Do you think they sell wood over at the trading area? Is there still a trading area here?
I can go buy the wood if I need to. I just really don't want to deal with. Don't make me deal with the people.
I don't think
that
we
sell
should
it.
destroy their chair on the first night we're here. I mean, I guess it is
Why
ours,
I
but
asked.
still. So I'm gonna go with no. Yes, I'm over here.
Perhaps we should find actually cut wood, so the furniture doesn't have to get destroyed for our comfort.
I'm just gonna nod and.
You don't think it would? You don't think it would be an odd thing, an odd rumor to get started that the nobles entered the town to help it, and on the first night they destroyed furniture?
Well, you saw the way they acted. They wouldn't question us, right?
Yeah, but you know they would think that, and slander is already a thing they need to watch out for to begin with. Probably we shouldn't add fuel to that fire. And then I'm going to look at Kia like...
So worried about pleasing the nobles, they would have started a fire.
Alright, I'm going to go out and buy some wood. You stay put, Marlowe. Just don't burn anything. I can't believe I have to say that to you.
So where do you...
sit down in the chair and just...
Alright.
I'm going to go to where I knew there was a trading area, but I don't even know if it's like still there, set up.
Alright. Okay.
I'm just hanging out with Marlowe in the room, kind of just staring at her blankly, like while he takes off his armor. He's
noble world problem.
Okay, you make your way to the trade hall. It is still there.
Oh.
However, once you wander in, it seems to be a lot less busy than it used to be.
Yeah. Do I see wood anywhere?
No, but there's a lot of empty tables.
Oh, shit. Excuse me. I'm gonna walk up to the first person I see, which is this guy.
Alright.
Yes, you.
Yes. Yes, my lady.
Hi,
May I
is there-
interest you in any of my fine ointments or, poultices?
Maybe tomorrow, but tonight I need some firewood. Do you know where I can fetch some?
One of the tables.
Don't believe anybody here actually sells firewood. I would suggest you inquire at the Tavern. At the Rock and Trader, they keep a healthy stock for the fire that they keep going.
Great, thank you. Goodbye. I mean, it's been a pleasure. Fellow
The pleasure is all mine, milady.
trader. Yes. Gonna awkwardly skedaddle.
Alright.
I'm
How does
trying
one
to hurry
awkwardly
to get
skedaddle?
just moonwalk away. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, if you go to the Rock and Trader, they send a boy over with a big armful of firewood for
Yay!
you. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So in no time at all, you stop. Which fire do you want to take care of?
Which
You
fire?
wanna, you've got two fireplaces. Which one do you want to
Oh.
light?
Probably the
Or
one
both?
here. And then the other one.
Okay.
Both. Nice hearty flame.
Or something. Jesus. Okay.
All right. Well, it doesn't take you long to get it to actually get it ignited. So.
Great.
I'm just gonna have my door open and probably the kitchen door open so the heat would spread appropriately.
Okay.
If I have 2 windows in my room, I imagine it gets
Well, none of these houses are particularly
well ventilated.
Yeah, all right, so you open that door. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna move these 2 chairs over here by the other 2 chairs near the wall.
All right.
Good night, Marlo. Good night, Rado.
Okay, I'm taking you're just going to sleep on the rug, huh?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a good place for us to take our first break, I feel. Okay. So you guys wake up early to a loud banging on the front door. Boom, 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 boom.
Shit.
Kia, you're getting that because I need to get dressed.
I'm gonna throw my robe on, put my hood up because my hair is unkept, and see that Marlo's already at the door. Like, "Fuck it," and I'm gonna go back into my room.
I'm going, like, I open the door, and then when I see him, I'm like, oh.
You did say that you wanted to be alerted at first light, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of opened the door without thinking about the fact that we were going to have to deal with this whole... I'm sorry. I'm not used to having nobility.
Oh, I fully understand, and we will try to be as considerate of that fact as we possibly can.
See, and then that's it, though. I don't want you to be considerate of me, if that makes sense.
But you must understand the populace here at Rockhelm. Night Striker, thanks for hitting the resub button. We
Night
appreciate
Striker.
you. Much love,
Hey,
dude.
thanks, man.
14 months in a row. Spam your hype. Spam your rollies. Thank you.
I mean, I understand it. It's how you guys do things down here in
Well,
Arconis.
It's just, of course, you will understand that under any normal circumstances, if any of the people here in Rockhelm was to treat you with anything less than the respect that your station demands, that there could be severe consequences. So to expect them to do anything else is...
It's not that I expect it. It's just...
You'll have to do a lot of convincing if you want people to stop addressing you as either ma'am or milady. I mean,
Convincing's not really my thing. It's all right. I'm not usually the one
is,
that talks to everybody anyway.
Lady Keeliana and Sir Radovan, is Lordship ready?
Peek my head out the
Radovan,
door.
He usually
Hello.
has to. He has a lot of stuff to put on, and he usually has to pray to Saint Cuthbert and everything in the morning. So,
Of course, being such a influential and devout priest, I fully understand.
But I pray to no one. Hello.
Well, I myself am rather fond of the teachings of Saint Cuthbert, and I would. I fully understand. From what I was told, you are indeed one of the High Elven, a member of the High Elven race. Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure you have your own traditions and things.
Yes, I'm sitting there just petting cow. Traditions, yes.
Well, should I wait outside or should I wait here? Is there anything you need? Should I perhaps go and have breakfast fetched to the town hall?
Sure. Go. We'll meet you there in 10 minutes.
You know where the building is then already?
No, I don't.
That
sorry,
is why
where
I'm
is
here,
it?
you see, to take you there.
Oh.
Through the door, you just hear Radovan say, "Perhaps you should bring breakfast here, because I will be more than 10 minutes."
Absolutely.
Right.
Then
I apologize, Radovan.
I will have breakfast arranged immediately. I would have arranged for you to have a housekeeper, but I felt like you'd probably want to select that person yourself.
oh, we don't need a housekeeper.
Fair enough. We shall select one soon.
Alrighty.
Hey, anyone, any way to employ someone here, Marlowe? Give them a fair wage.
All right, well, off he goes to fetch your
guess.
breakfast.
That's
really
kind
just-
of what?
Then we'll have somebody that like actually stays in our home calling us lady and lord all the time.
I don't want them to stay here. Perhaps just come every Tuesday and Thursday. You know?
Yes.
But I'm sure many people here are looking for employment, ways to make money, improve the town.
Well, you spend your next Radovan. How long do you need? I mean, it's about to
gonna
take you 30 minutes to put your armor on.
It's actually like 15. I read the book, but it takes like an hour to fucking pray. So
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna go stretch in front of the fireplace because Saint Cuthbert is a chatty bastard. I've learned over the past year or so.
Okay.
So he's going to spend the next hour and like.
Right, well, about 45 minutes later, Chandler Henderson arrives and he brings in, with the aid of Victoria, they bring breakfast and
great.
set it out into your kitchen table.
I'll hand them a few bronze pieces. At least Victoria. She's working.
Okay,
Or
she
yeah.
happily takes it. Oh, thank you, my
Thank you,
lady. Most
Victoria.
kind.
Of course.
Chandler looks at you and says, that's not necessary, my lady, not for me. I am here to serve.
All right. Fair
After
enough.
the appropriate amount of time, I'm just going to enter and sit down.
Okay.
Morning, Sir Radovan.
So,
When are we
as you're
supposed to pay
eating,
people?
Sir Radovan, just come on, Kia.
Chandler says,
I
so,
like it.
there are quite a few people that are eager to discuss things with you. Several, in fact. Perhaps once we arrive, I can brief you on the situation, and then when you're ready, you can hear the requests or complaints from the folk here of Mindenbrook.
Request and
For
complaint.
Mindenbrook.
Mindenbrook, sorry.
Where's that?
From Rockhelm. While we're on the subject, are you wanting to hold a daily hearing, or would you prefer to do it weekly or bi-weekly?
We'll discuss that later.
Oh, absolutely. I do apologize. Yes, no, you're quite right. I should allow you to eat your breakfast in peace. I'll wait by the door.
Did you hear what he said? Complaints and hearings? I didn't realize I was a part of this.
What do you think I've been doing for the past year, Kia?
Excuse me, could you step outside the door?
Oh, I may leave? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Damn it.
We don't have to get dressed up for these things, do we?
I think I don't.
I would love to get dressed up.
I just doing this for today because it's the first day. You know that I have other clothes that I'll wear for the other days. More comfortable, less time consuming.
Oh, do we need to be dressed?
Please wear clothes.
Yeah, about that.
Remember what I said about eyes at you at all times? This
Well,
is one of those times.
I have a question actually. What is Marlo wearing? Because it is really cold out, and I remember the robes she had were kind of ill-fitting, right? Or
They're not ill-fitting. They fit very well. There's just not a lot of them.
right. So how are you
the Rennies
staying?
in robes.
The Rennies in robes, yeah. So how are you staying warm, Marlo?
She slept in front of that fire.
Cardio.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, outside here, it definitely is not. I mean, Radovan, same scenario. Walking around in a sheet of frost-attracting plate mail.
Yeah,
you know,
but
obviously
it
you're
has
going
a
to
lot
want.
of padding.
Yeah, you're going to want.
underneath it.
All of you are going to want additional items of clothing to keep you warm outside, for sure.
Which is what he has.
Yeah,
so.
Kia is probably
Well,
the
I'm
most
sure-
equipped because she actually has a long hooded robe and stuff, but still.
Yes, it's very
I'm
comfy.
sure I acquired a cloak of some
Steve
kind
Bobom, thanks for
Okay.
following.
with us walking everywhere. So
Perhaps, Kia, this will be a good opportunity for you to see what I have been up to for the past year on my pilgrimage.
I usually just stood there and looked good. He did most of the talking.
Your counsel, of course, would be if any issue arises that maybe isn't so black and white. I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion on certain judgments.
I would love to learn from you, Radovan. Sir Radovan.
Please, will you stop that?
No, it is.
After all,
Very charming.
Is
Well, what I mean by get dressed is sometimes there were ceremonies and stuff back home,
Ceremonies.
and they wanted us to dress. I never liked it much, but we were like,
Gold?
I don't think that. Oh, gold.
You're confusing me, Milo.
We wore really ornate robes.
That sounds very fun.
Yeah, but you guys really don't have those down here. I mean, I don't know what else you would wear in that situation.
well, perhaps we can see if there is a seamstress here who could fashion something. We do have 500 golds. That is meant for this town. I was hoping to spend it on this town, unless you spend your own golds.
Oh. Well,
Spend the 500 gold on new threads for yourself and leave.
sounds like something Lilith would do.
Absolutely, yeah.
I do have some gold stashed away if you need something eventually, Milo.
Yes, I seem to recall you guys having plenty. Leaving all costs to me. Lovingly, of course.
I spent a lot of it in Iridian recently, so I don't have that much left, but
Fair
I can
enough.
buy a few things.
Well,
Back home, they don't really use money. Like, everybody just sort of does things and shares with everybody, so...
If only that could be the case here. Sharing? What is this?
They were communists!
What is this new concept? Sharing.
I say we just get this day. It's going to be a long day, I fear. So,
Alright, let's head.
Alrighty.
Let's go meet
Okay.
with Chandler.
So Chandler escorts you to the newly created courthouse. Okay. The courthouse, it's... Quite frankly, it isn't a courthouse at all. It's a large house that they kicked all the interior walls out of. This building right here. I mean, I say kick. They did a reasonably decent job of it.
Okay.
They managed to grab a couple of pews and throw those together. And, you know, once you get inside, it's not altogether completely terrible.
I call middle seat.
Let me just grab him real quick.
If you sit in the middle, it'll look like we're putting man on a pedestal. And that would go completely against everything I did in Iridian.
how about you put law on the pedestal? And
That's
then, so
you,
so
though.
I'm, exactly. As I'm
That's
It's a
standing from the
Radovan thing
middle.
to say.
Damn.
So he's like, yes. So as you can see, we have 3 chairs at the head of the room here and a table. I took the liberty of arranging it. I wish we'd have had more pews. Unfortunately, this is all we had available to us.
It's quite uneven.
It's
Oh,
common for people to want to watch and observe. So the pews here are for that, and of course for people that are waiting to approach and be seen. The chairs that I've situated here in the center are for people that you are actively hearing.
Alright, thank you so much.
Would you like me
Did
to
we
fetch the 6 guards that were sent up here for your liberty?
Not yet. Isn't there many things
Magic.
you want to explain to us?
Oh, absolutely,
Situation?
yes.
We'll only be able to hear the people in the chairs.
What? Marlo, you do not sit there.
Why not?
You sit here at the head. And I'm going to walk towards this chair, right here.
Oh, is that how it works?
Mhm.
So from here, we will be able to hear the people in the chairs.
Yes.
So how about you tell us, before the guards and others come, exactly what is going on in this town that needs our attention?
Let's see. Where do we start? Obviously, the king arranged for six able-bodied men to be sent here to operate underneath your orders and your command. So you have 6 somewhat trained soldiers. They were young guards from the city of Iridium, from what I understand.
I believe we met 2 of them the other day.
So there is those, but of course, if you feel that we may need more guards, then it would be down to you to arrange for the training of such.
Ones that are still growing.
We have no functioning trade lines except one.
To where?
Basically, there is a merchant that travels from the south that comes up here about once every 3 weeks. Unfortunately, it leaves us in serious problems when it comes to supplies. There is no livestock, so perhaps you might want to consider arranging for the purchase and acquisition of some of those. We have no crops of any kind, so there's no way of self-sustaining.
Oh, God.
There are many buildings that are still in serious disrepair. There's nobody currently been appointed as the governor of the trade hall, which means they're all basically trading there for free. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the runnings of Rockhelm before, but the monies that were paid by the traders, as well as a small tax, which incidentally needs to be established by yourselves, was what helped keep Rockhelm functioning. So you would need to appoint that. There's a lot of complaints, so there's a lot of people that would like to be heard. Let's see.
They will sit in the chairs.
What about the surrounding area? Last we were here, there were several barbaric tribes. Not all of them bad, of course.
We have not seen any tribesmen from any of the 3 tribes since the war.
So we know about this. I mean, the Scarbloods, of course, were decimated by the prince's cavalry.
Yes, we heard the stories. May I suggest something else that would possibly go a very long way to helping gain the trust of those that have come back here to Rockhelm?
Yes.
Dare I say that... Magatweezy, thanks for follow. Dare I say that everybody would enjoy hearing firsthand of your heroics during the war. You see, you are somewhat considered differently, for good and for ill, as nobles. If I may, of course, speak candidly, as you...
You may.
Candid?
Well, you see,
freely.
most nobles are born into the position and are trained at birth to understand such etiquette and protocols, and that's to your disadvantage, because many of the nobles will see you as somewhat similar to them, yet entitled. On the flip side, of course, most of them have...
That's how I feel about nobles that are born as nobles.
Quite. But to the advantage is a lot of the more common people have much more respect for yourselves because you earned your titles through great heroic deeds, and indeed were instrumental, as the stories say, in saving the southern regions of Arconus.
And with that being the case, and ourselves obviously being well known, legends spreading before us, do you think that we really do need to tell the story of how we became heroes if they already know it?
If you don't wish to, I'm sure, but you must confess and understand that bards do have a habit of exaggerating, and rumour has a habit of being altered and misconstrued, so...
Well,
I just feel that it would make them feel
Bards?
like they...
There's a bard?
We have not had a bard venture this way for some weeks now.
Marlo, you remember the bard that went with us west?
Yeah.
When we left Iridian, I gave him my journal even and told him everything. That son of a bitch better not have embellished anything.
Oh.
I mean, I told it straight, but...
embellishing's bad. I rather like bards. And are they bad people?
What? Chandler.
Of course, it's entirely your decision. I just thought perhaps it might be a good way for you to
Of course.
introduce yourselves to the populace.
Perhaps a story time. I mean, I am not above inspiring people or attempting to inspire people. Perhaps we should have them question us. I would be open to them asking questions to possibly dispel any embellishments or exaggerations. That would be more in keeping with, well...
That's true. On my travels to you, Radovan, I met a girl who claimed to have won the war all by herself. I found it quite amusing.
Really? All by yourself?
I don't remember her name. It was very forgetful.
Oh. She sounds spunky.
Perhaps that would be the first thing we do. We get everyone in here, because obviously there's room, I imagine, and...
It's unlikely that any of them are going to ask questions. They
Really?
wouldn't feel entitled to ask questions or question your deeds or your actions in any way.
Can we make them?
Oh,
We can make them. We can do that, right? We can make people do stuff out of
You
it?
could command them to request things, but bear in mind the questions
I
that you
don't
get
like
asked
doing
will
that,
probably
but-
not be of a pertinent value.
We only command those people if it is to uplift the community, Marlo.
Look,
What
Isn't
I've
that
learned.
what this is?
all I know is that in my
Maybe.
travels, there have been many people. They come with problems. They come with issues to be resolved, and through those problems, we come with some law and order. You know, that so those situations don't arise again. You said there's many complaints. Chandler, is that accurate?
Not necessarily all complaints, just people
Issues.
that need to be heard. Issues, yes.
That is fair.
Are we
Is there
going to
anything
hear them
else?
now? Or is there other things that... What order should we
Anything
do
else
this in,
to the list?
Radovan?
Well,
There's so much.
well, trade is, of course... Rockham was always a center for trade and commerce. Without the tribes around, the lands are pretty much up for grabs in some sense, right? I mean, we have
And it's
a
magic, thanks for
20-mile
following.
radius, 20-mile area around the town that we have jurisdiction in. And the forests are farther than that, obviously,
Oh, yeah,
right?
way further.
And the plains that the Harns people were in are between the two, right? I mean, yes.
So here's the
Trying to
regional
remember.
map, yeah. So
Okay.
Rockhelm, yes, the Harns Plains tribe was between Rockhelm and the forest, the Scarblood tribe being beyond it.
Right. That's the...
And then northwest of here was where the Harrier tribe was.
And the Harrier, I mean, there's no real forest over where the Harrier tribe was, right?
Not
I mean,
at
they
all.
were south of the mountains.
Yeah.
Look, these people, this town, with
Oh, yeah.
all they've been through, being sacked and people being murdered, they need hope. They need progress.
How do we do that?
We show them. We fill the gate. We fill the town with livestock. It's cold. It's winter, but perhaps is there any salvageable tundra or land that we could possibly use for cropping?
I'm not a farmer, but from what I understand, that would not do until the spring. Cyber Monkey, thanks for the cheer, bud.
Right, but you said there's a merchant who comes in once every 6 weeks?
3 weeks, Radovan.
And he comes about every 3 weeks, yes.
Okay, sorry, I missed that.
But of course, the ground is it's entirely too hard and not fertile at the moment due to the climate.
And north of here, Starden is. I haven't heard or asked about that anywhere, but this is close enough. Has that come back in any form? After what happens?
I know little of Astardan. From what I understand, though, with what happened to it, nobody seems to have Well, nobody seems to have the stomach to go back there.
Yeah, I imagine it's taken on the properties of the Fields of Sorrow. It's just a concern. Okay, but that's beyond our reach. Well,
would you like me to fetch the guards?
I guess you can.
Very
Sure.
well.
What do we need guards for?
Oh, just purely for your inspection and to issue proper orders. In light of having no leadership, they have taken it in turns to rotate on the southern and northern gate. Of course, in pairs, but that means that 2 sleep while 2 work, or while 4 work, and then they rotate out about approximately every 6 hours.
And has there been any problems, skirmishes, bandits, vagrants, anything like that we should know about?
We've had a few travelers through stealing things, and some unpleasant things happen here inside the town. But of course, with no organized law or order, it's to be expected.
And
I
there's
feel
no
sure that now you're here, that those things would probably not rear their heads again.
and there's no jail or building that could be substituted for a jail if such things were people
why
were
don't we
caught.
need a jail, Ratavan? Let's just
We-
punish the people and get it over with.
We don't have one of those currently, no. But I mean, if that's something you would like to have constructed, you can issue a request and make plans and draw one up, and I'm sure, and we can see to getting it built. Of course, you'll have to get the materials, and you have to arrange for them to be brought here and the whatnot.
Well, at the very least, a survey of the most sturdy building.
Well, the main problem we have, sir, is the sturdy buildings are all occupied by people. The buildings that are not properly repaired have, well, they're not fit to live in this current
I
climate.
see. Makes sense.
Chandler, how many people actually live here in Rockhelm now?
Well, currently, if you include the guards, I think there's about 30.
Wow, okay.
And everyone knows each other and they get along.
For the most part.
Does everyone have something to do here?
Pretty much.
Great.
Any armor smith or
You
forge?
don't need a house.
Oh, we have no blacksmith. No, we have no smith, which could be something you could
Right.
arrange. Bearing in mind, those that travel backwards and forwards and come and go the most are, of course, the traders.
And we need to regulate them to some form. Kia, you went to the trading house.
I did. It was not many
Much-
people there. Much.
But it was much like we remembered it from when we were there, just emptier.
Yes. Yes.
Is there anyone in town who would be an ideal candidate for governor to oversee the trading posts and the taxes to impose?
I dare I make one suggestion, as well as being at your available assist. I suppose I'm probably the most equipped and the most knowledgeable about such things. If you thought that it would be appropriate, I could, under your guidance, could presume that mantle and take care of that for you.
Do people listen to you, respect you?
As much as anybody is respected around here.
Well, I have no objection if this is indeed the case for you to take over being governor of the trading posts and the taxes therein.
I would.
After you've settled these other affairs of getting us up to speed on what's required here.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you set a appropriate trading fee and amicable tax level.
What was the tax before everything went to shit?
Well, I do believe that it was required that each trader paid 5 copper pieces per day.
And was that reasonable?
For their table.
Did people complain?
Oh, no, not at all. But then, of course, this was different times. And a 10% levy on all profits was gathered as well.
People have to pay to sell stuff?
So perhaps we should start at 3 to begin, until we get more trade in this town, and then we boost it up to 5 when it's bustling again.
So, you would like 3 copper pieces then?
Per day. Yes.
Okay, so the 3 copper pieces is to secure the table, and what percentage of taxation should we put as a levy on all goods sold?
Well, in New York City, it's 8%.
Yes.
We start generous so people feel compelled to start trading, right? And then
Right.
once they're all here, we raise it a little bit. So
5%. Very low.
I was going
Too
to say
low?
7, but
7 is a prime number. It's not very easy to calculate in my mind.
7 is a prime number.
Yes.
All right, how about 5 to start? At least for the
5
beginning.
to start. We shall raise it once we see it's progressing well.
All right, well, he approaches the table and reaches inside a small, basically like a man satchel that he has, and pulls out a big
His
wad
merce.
of paper, sets it down, an ink and quill, and begins to write it up.
Great.
So
Obviously,
I've looked
go ahead.
intensely in concentration this whole time, but I've kind of given up at this point and am just sort of looking off.
At the blank
In the
walls.
Chandler,
Yes,
if there are
milady.
any complaints about this, tell them it is to fulfill the betterment of their community and not for us.
I believe three copper pieces and a 5% levy tax. I doubt that many people would complain. They were used to paying 5 and 10 before, so 3 and 5 I'm sure will be more than amicable.
And say this is the starting price so they don't get freaked out when we do raise it eventually.
Absolutely. Should I set a? Is there a? Do you want to set a time? A number of weeks, days, months, or would you rather keep that at your own discretion?
Play it by ear for now.
Discretion.
Right?
Very well.
Marlo. I'm gonna look at Marlo and smile.
Marla?
Perhaps
Yeah.
be honest with me. Does the idea of setting up laws and policies bore you?
I don't understand this stuff very good, Radovan.
So, would you have more fun, perhaps, appraising the guards, training them, possibly finding a place for they to practice? Practice yard, possibly? Get them up to speed, get them up to snuff.
I guess as
Would that be more fun for you? Because
I guess it depends on how squishy they are, but
Would you like me to fetch them now?
yes,
Very
please.
Okay, well, he heads out to go fetch the guards.
How many women do you think are here, Radovan? I'm guessing more than men. Well, I'm sure many of the men died in war. I'm just wondering what the ratio is.
Why does it matter?
I know why it matters. Here, I'm gonna get up and I'm just gonna offer the seat in the middle. From the lady.
Radovan, Sir Radovan, that had nothing to do with it, but I will still take the seat. Thank you.
So Radovan tends to walk and stand on the table, so it doesn't matter.
That's a table?
It's a great big, it's like a big
Oh, I thought
ornate
it was a
table.
rug, dude.
No,
Okay.
the rug's underneath it. Why would I put a rug on a rug?
How do people get in the? How do people get in the middle? Yeah. How do you scoot into the middle chair with the big table in the way?
You sit down
That has to
first,
be a
don't you?
rug. That has to be a rug.
Just the weirdest shaped rug ever.
I honestly thought it was a rug, like an ornate.
Anyway, no, it's a
Okay,
table.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So if you've got nothing else you want to chat, it takes them about 20 minutes. And in comes Chandler with your guards. All yours to command.
Approach.
Okay, so you see the two young lads that you recognized before. So looking at all of these guys, the two young ones that are holding the pikes, that they're respectively 17 and 18. They're well-built young lads, but they're still very naive. There are two that are holding crossbows. One appears to be significantly older than everybody else, like older, probably in his 60s or later, whereas the other one's in his mid-30s. But you do notice that he walks in with a very noticeable limp. The other two that are actually carrying swords and have shields, they are surprisingly, dare I say, possibly useful. I mean, they're both in their mid-20s. They don't seem to have any physical disabilities.
Approach. Hello. Hail.
All right. With that, they all come stomping up to the front. Well, these are the 6 guards that were sent up to Iridian for you to utilize as you see fit.
Nice to meet you all. Hello. Do you guys speak?
They all kind of look at each other.
It's okay to say hello.
And then in unison, they all say, "Hello!"
My name is Kieliana. I am a sorcerer. These are my friends.
Again, you have to understand, they are your subordinates. They're here to be commanded. You're their commanders.
That's fine. I'm just trying to introduce who we are to them.
Okay, any of you guys, when you are in charge in guarding the northern gates, do you see any, if at all, any traffic whatsoever? North of here, I imagine, doesn't have much.
The oldest one kind of steps forward, takes his helmet off and puts it under his arm. Very few people ever travel north anymore.
So,
but there are one or two, including a gentleman that we have talked to here recently who has some unpleasant circumstances and incidences that he has encountered to the north.
And I'm going to look at Chandler. I imagine this is a person we are to meet with these instances and complaints and problems?
I would probably think so if he's here, yes, sir.
But otherwise, with you 6, 4 of you are on duty at all times, and 2 of you are in the North Gate, freezing your asses off with not much traffic.
And 2 on the Southern Gate.
Perhaps, in the time being, it would be best for morale, if anything, and comforts from weather, if we just seal the North Gate and force people to travel to the Southern Gates to enter.
What about the Eastern Gate, sir?
There's an Eastern Gate.
Yes, sir. There's a Northern, Southern, and Eastern Gate.
But there's
we have already taken the liberty of sealing the Eastern Gate, as we don't have the manpower to man all 3 gates.
I understand. Right. I remember there's an Eastern Gate. It's been so long.
But if you would like to seal the Northern Gate, if that is your command, we will arrange for that to be done immediately, sir.
Well, it's winter, so it's cold, and there's 6 of you. I don't see the point in 4 of you being outside all day, freezing your butts off for nothing, for next to nothing.
All right. Okay, so you see Marlowe walking around, prodding, walking up and checking their arms, prodding them in the stomach and stuff like that, trying to size up their physical prowess.
Radovan, I'm just gonna look at Marlowe and raise a brow.
I mean, they basically just stand there The looks on their faces are a little bit bewildered, but none of them dare so much as even give her a sideways look.
Yeah, my raised eyebrow is not to stop her to be like you're doing wrong. It's just to see what she thinks. Like, well.
Honestly,
What's the hardest you've ever been hit? I'm asking the one I'm standing behind.
I was once hit upside the head with what I believe at the time to have been a chair leg or something similar.
A chair leg. And is that the only kind of weapon you can use?
The sword, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is what we were trained to use. Sword and shield.
So there's some things you can't train and you can't teach somebody. How are you with your fists, your hands? If you got disarmed, could you live?
Depends against who and what, ma'am.
A dragon.
No. I don't think for a second that with my sword in hand and a shield, I would be able to stand against such a beast.
You'd be surprised what you can do when you put your mind to it.
If you say so, ma'am.
Awesome.
What about the rest of you? Any of the rest of you know how to fight?
The old guy looks at you and goes, "What, dragons? No, miss.
No, just
No,
with your
ma'am, not at
hands,
all."
that's fine. Maybe dragons are a little too much. What about just if two of you just went at it right here without your weapons? Can we do that, Redovan? Can we let them?
We're not doing another arena.
Well, not an arena. I mean, like they're not gonna fight to the death. I'd stop them.
Marlo.
Well, how am I supposed to know what they can do? I mean, I can't fight them, so I mean, they could fight each other, right?
Maybe just not here right now.
Oh.
Catch my drift.
Oh, of course not. Right? No, we can't have them fight here and right now. That would be bad.
Perhaps starting out, we just do some exercises, physical exercises without weapons and shields, techniques of that nature, right? And then to stay on guard in the southern gates while the drills go on, we find a suitable place in the village where they can train. Because if the villagers see them training, it's a good morale boost, right? They get a sense of progress.
Right, Radovan. Of course, you never start out with people fighting and doing specific techniques. You got to start somewhere. Kia, we don't need a housekeeper. We just need lots of rags. They'll clean the floors themselves.
What?
In fact, every house here.
You're making them clean?
Well, yeah.
And that helps them how?
It helps with lots of things. That's
Did
where
you do
I
that?
started.
Oh, for how long?
Well, Sarah's had me. I actually did that all the time. Like even after I started learning how to fight, I think that after a while it was just because he didn't want to do it himself. But in the beginning, it teaches you discipline and responsibility, and it teaches you to take pride in your work and what you do.
I agree with you, Marlo, but it seems like these 6 men seem to take pride in what they do and have extreme discipline already.
Yeah, but you see, they rely on weapons. So we gotta start over. You just throw it all out and start over.
Honestly.
The older one kind of steps forward and once again takes his helmet off and goes, begging your pardon, whatever you suggest is obviously, or whatever you command is what would be done, but it does seem somewhat redundant to take men that are trained to utilize certain weapons and expect them to discard them and learn how to fight with their fists.
Well, what would you do if you lost your weapon?
Oh, I understand that maybe as a secondary form of training, but I myself, in my older years, I don't move particularly well, but my eyes are still good, and
ridiculous! We had monks twice your age.
Oh, well, very well then. Whatever you command is what we will do. We were told that we were to report to you and do whatever it is that your lordships and ladies request, so we are at your disposal.
Don't worry about it. You guys will be beasts when I'm done with you. I mean, if you can throw a punch hard enough to kill somebody, then it'll be easy to do it with a sword.
It is winter, so it is cold. I'm honestly not entirely against this idea, although I do think the gentleman has a point that they are trained with weapons as well, so it wouldn't be just to rely on that entirely.
I will defer judgment to you two, as I do not fight.
Although, keep in mind, Marlowe, there is a hierarchy at play here, so perhaps the old gentleman should be the captain, since he has the most experience.
Yeah. No substitute for experience.
Congratulations, you have been appointed captain of the Helm Guard. Old man. What is your name?
if you so deem that is what I should do. Thomas Carden, ma'am.
Thomas.
Of course, we will, if anything happens to this town, they will not be putting up their fists to defend it. They will be using the weapons that they've been trained with and are proficient in. And such training will and should continue regardless.
Correct. I mean, if they want.
The point of training with their weapon.
I can't train them with weapons any more than they're already probably trained, though, Radovan. I don't use weapons.
But if anything, this training regimen, just be a back to basics to some degree. Just get them working together, right?
Together?
Yes, as a singular unit.
I think that might be more your field. I can teach them discipline and endurance, but...
Well, then that's what you will focus on, and that'll work for me. Discipline and endurance is required, is needed.
Don't worry, guys. It'll be fun. How do you feel about sleeping outside?
Oh, God.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to.
If you command it, we will. If you do not, then we will not.
Yes, let's not do that. Too much too soon is not healthy, it's not good.
So is it also wrong to tell them that they can't eat if they don't catch it?
Yeah, we're not gonna... No.
There is no livestock here, Marlowe. We shall not
Well,
force that rule.
they wouldn't catch and kill livestock, of course. That just stands there. That's not a challenge.
No, everything else will be as it always was.
All
Not
right.
be barbarians here. Barbarians here.
You may be dismissed, I think.
All right. With that, they all just turn around in rank and file and march out the door.
Oh, God. This is so difficult.
You've been sitting there this entire time, Kia.
What's going to be
My-
difficult is being easy on them.
Oh, Marlowe.
I can see that you all have very unorthodox methods. I'm
Quite.
sure that everybody will find that refreshing.
Unorthodox. Radavan.
Different.
Difference
That's-
bad?
Not necessarily. But we'll see, I guess. Chandler, how about you send in the other people so we can hear their complaints,
If you're
their
ready
issues?
if you're ready to hear the
I think we'll be as ready as
Wait.
we ever will be.
Might I suggest when we whisper to each other so they don't hear our discussions before we make a decision for them? So we don't seem like we are at odds with each other.
would you
We
like me
need
to
to
have
agree.
would you like me to move the chairs further back?
Yes. Just
They
a
can
little
hear.
further.
So we can only hear. We can hear only them. Is there a way to make it where they can only hear us if we want them to?
We talk louder.
It's not. I thought there was some kind of magic.
Nothing that I think will be necessary. We'll just address in different levels of speech.
Oh. I don't think I understood what was going on here, but okay. That's nothing new.
Chandler,
Go
you
ahead.
can
Go ahead.
retrieve them. We can start.
All right, I'll let everybody know that they're ready. If you would mind excusing me, so I may.
You may go.
All right, he heads out. All right. Well, slowly but surely, over the next 30 or 40 minutes, people begin to emerge.
Oh, God.
That guy brought his alcohol in here. What's that about?
Hey, maybe that's his problem. He's a
The
drunk.
bartender.
It is the
working
bartender.
Tavern.
That is exactly who it is.
How does the guy in the green hat look familiar?
I don't know.
Oh my god, what's that guy holding?
I'm just thinking of Parks and Rec when they do like the open forums. Ham and mayonnaise. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, slowly but surely, as I said, the new courtroom fills up, and Chandler moves around to this side of the table and gets a lot closer to Radavan and says, how do you want to address them?
I'm just gonna stand up and kind of like give everyone a nice, kind of awkward wave, but still a wave nonetheless.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, greetings, citizens of Rockhelm. My name is Radavan Rainier, as I'm sure you know. This is my friends and loyal companions, Keeliana and Marlowe. We are here to put Rockhelm back in order in a way that makes you all feel safe and ready to face the difficulties and harshnesses of life so far north of Iridian. If you have any complaints, please raise your hands, and Chandler will, of course, choose you to approach and lay out your issue, your complaints, or whatever you have on your minds. And we will all try to come to a reasonable solution that improves everyone's life here.
All right.
Anyone wish to start?
Okay, so taking your lead, Chandler kind of comes up and he says, if you are here to be heard, please raise your right hands. And several of them do, not all of them, however. with that, he looks at the innkeeper who's raised his hand and please approach. Right, so the innkeeper walks up and looks at you. He says, "I'm begging your pardon, but well, I only know how to speak plain."
That is fine.
Well, quite frankly, we are down to but 2 bottles of whiskey, 1 bottle of rum, and half a keg of ale. And if we don't soon manage to procure some kind of reasonable solution for getting regular supplies of alcohol here, I think we're going to have a morale problem, not to mention my livelihood is going to be seriously impacted. Also, we get requests all the time for items that we just cannot seem to acquire or provide. And we was lucky last time that one of the merchants that came through brought a pig with him, and we was able to barter for the pig and acquire that. But prior to that, that's the first meat that we've had here, other than salted meat, for probably 3 weeks. I would like for you to arrange or sort out some kind of better trade route so that we can restock more efficiently.
Are there contacts in Iridian who we could reach out to get some sort of improved trade routes that you know of? Or
not that I know of, no.
Chandler, perhaps? I mean, Iridian is the closest port of the city of connection.
Closest city, yeah, for sure.
With the most wealth, for sure.
I have made many contacts in Iridian during my stay there, Radovan. Perhaps you can send a message for me to one of my contacts, and we can set up a trade route from Iridian.
How much would you reckon? I mean, obviously, we have golds for the betterment of this town. Do you have any idea how much that would cost? With obviously a tax being levied on those with the trade routes, right? Those who employ it.
Well, of course, you must understand that to expect anyone to travel from Meridian to Rockhelm, they would incur additional costs. It is expected, of course, that they would need, under the circumstances, guards, and it's unlikely that you're going to get individuals travel all this way.
Fair enough.
So I expect the cost to be somewhat steep, especially as we have nothing to offer as a return trade. Trade routes generally work better when you can acquire something from both ends. We have nothing to offer.
We don't have anything? Well, what can we do here?
Well, this is just the problem, you see. This is why you were appointed. The town has no means of supporting itself. That's what you're here for, to fix that.
Nobody can do anything?
Oh, people can do plenty, but we have able-bodied farmers, but they can't grow wheat or crops in the midst of winter. We have people that are skilled with livestock. Of course, they have no livestock to train or to raise, and those are issues.
Well, let's get some livestock, right? Radovan?
Yes, I agree.
So whoever we get to travel the trade route for the first time just brings all this stuff with them. Is that wrong?
No, that is...
No.
That is true. It's just...
It'll be a high first-time fee.
Well, the instead of hiring a person for each of the things that you need, if you just hire one person, then they stand to profit more, so...
Is there a farm anywhere nearby?
Not that it's functioning now, I'm afraid. No, sir.
Are there previous livestock that have become roamers after the war?
Well, it depends on what you refer to as nearby. You see...
What do you know?
The town of Breckendell, which is southeast of here, granted that it is considerably further than the town of Hemsdale, but much closer than the city of Iridian. I do believe that it was where where the king and his forces first came. The Panarian Ridge is above them. From what I understand, they successfully made sure that everybody that was there, including the livestock, were taken care of before the battle, and they probably have a prominent amount of livestock still.
They were quite cut off, if I recall.
And that is the problem. It's unlikely that any of them are going to travel here, especially without pre-arranging terms for sale.
So we send someone here to go arrange for purchase of some of their livestock.
That seems like a sensible thing. Of course, you're going to have to also arrange for their protection to do so.
Which we can do, and which we should do.
Yes.
Because if we can get Breckendale and here to start their own trade, that's another area of potential. I mean, that would be good for all of us. Especially if we tell the people traveling to and from to travel via a singular route to kind of mold the earth into an actual path without having anyone laying down cobblestones or the like, you know? So it's like a clear-cut path that we protect.
Once we have livestock from them, we can begin a longer trade route, say to Iridian. We'll have something to trade.
What about the town immediately to our south? I forgot the name of it, Gore, just off the top of my head.
What, directly south of here?
Yeah.
When you come Hensdale.
Oh, is that one functioning? Okay.
What about...
It is, but it's not really good for livestock. That being said, it's possible that you might be able to convince that their, local inn or tavern to part with some of their stock in the short time if you're willing to pay for it.
Which we should do.
Yes.
As for the immediate concerns about the whiskey and the rum and the spirits, goes a long way for morale. Kia, you said you knew some contacts on Iridian.
I do.
Right now, as Radovan realizes that last night he drank a third of their stock.
Yeah, do they have sake?
Perhaps
I don't know.
we could use some of our personal funds to try to institute something from farther away to alleviate the barman's issue. I mean, I don't. We do have some goals to do that. That's for this town.
Yeah.
So if we did it, we'd have to levy a slight tax to recoup some of the losses here.
I don't mind paying for spirits.
But we could do that and try to get someone to come up, and we'll pay for the cards as well, and we'll just get them to alleviate on a monthly business.
Anyway.
Would that be to your liking, sir? Would that work for now?
Who are you addressing? The barkeep?
The barman.
He says,
Yeah, the barkeep.
"Whatever you see fit. I just know that we can't operate a tavern with no food and no ale and no spirits."
And how much business do you get per day? I mean, it was quite busy the last time, yesterday.
You must understand, there's little or nothing to do here in Rockhelm. And we have the biggest and the most comforting fire. Many of the buildings here, even though they have been repaired, are not exactly weatherproof. So a large portion of people do make their way every evening into the tavern, and they tend to fellowship there and congregate there, and of course that means they eat and they drink.
Here's a question. There's a lot of people, when I went into the trading post, that were still there, be it was emptier, and they all each sold their own wares.
Mm-hmm.
Have they ever thought of finding one person together from each of the tables and then go traveling as a merchant for Rockhelm? A tinkerer of sorts?
I don't know. I doubt anybody's thought of doing anything organized like that. They're all individuals.
I think we should organize something so that way we have more things to trade once we get livestock.
We could do that.
They seem to have some quality items in there.
Perhaps. So the people do congregate at your bar. Do they obviously pay as well? I hope. They don't just
There is.
So if we were to restock your bar, I would hope that some of your profits would return to the town itself. Maybe not all. We want you to live comfortably as well.
If you're talking about a tax or a levy, if it is reasonable, I'll make nothing if I don't have anything to sell. So I'm more than happy to contribute a small percentage back to the town. Of course, it's
perfect.
That would I'm afraid be necessary.
Well, it sounds like we just need money coming into the town, and then we can. So, what would bring people to Rockhelm?
Well,
We need unique merchants. Blacksmithing? Anything of...
Well, we need to know what our
Nope.
people can do.
Yes.
that's true.
Back
Perhaps
home, we had a
Shan-
traveling circus, and when they would come into town, like, everybody would go there. So, if we had something like that would bring people from all over to see it, I mean, I don't think people can, like, swallow metal objects and stick pins through themselves and stuff like the circus back home, but
Interesting.
There's
This
gotta
is
be
not
some-
this is
Well-
not to be conceited by any means, but many people do want to meet the three of us. It may bring in extra customers.
That in mind, we do need to know what everyone in this town can do or is actually at doing.
Yes. We'll go make our rounds.
Perhaps we should have someone, Chandler, create a list for us to
I would happily
oversee.
do so, sir.
yes,
Thank you.
innkeeper, sir. Is there something that like you can make special at your bar if you had the materials, like something like what was it that was at that one place, Gazzleberry pie?
That
In
was so
Iridian.
good.
Yes, the pie.
Never been much of a chef myself. I've always, provided a more simple affair. Rockhelm's never been a fancy-to-do place.
Well, let's get your
I mean, well, that's
establishment.
okay. We're just trying to figure out, if there are like something special that people can do that would draw people in. If we find something, that'll bring more people into your inn.
Well, I understand.
A lot more people. We may have to make your inn bigger.
Baby steps, Marlo. Baby steps. For
Yes,
now,
let's get them stuff to sell first.
and then we'll see how the progress goes. A tax will not be instituted until the stock arrives and a deal is made. But rest assured, we will try to handle your issue as promptly as possible. And thank you for bringing it up to us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you hearing me. Good day. If I may get back to my establishment.
You
Go
may.
ahead.
All right, he leaves.
That was just one person.
Next. This lady walks up.
Hi.
Good day.
I would like to address the problem of schooling.
Okay. Yes.
There are not but 7 children here in Rockhelm. Well, technically 5 children, but 2 older people that do indeed need and show a desire to learn to read and write. I would like to address the possibility of having one of the buildings renovated and repaired to be used as a schoolhouse.
What do you use currently?
Well, currently, we gather either in one of the disassembled buildings, or I go to their individual houses. But it's obviously not convenient. And if Rockhelm is to re-establish itself, obviously it needs a way to educate.
Yes.
Is there a building that you fancy that you feel would be most suitable?
I would say any of the reasonably burned out houses, if they were properly repaired, would be suitable.
Is there anyone in town who knows how to do such repairs?
Kind of like just assuming by now that every time you ask a question not directed to anybody, that Chandler seems to think that it's his place to answer it. He just says,
Okay.
We have several people that have renovated 2 or 3 of the buildings so far themselves, yes.
So we hire them to do so for your school.
Which would be wonderful. Of course, materials is a problem. All the materials that we've readily had available have been utilized, and we now have no materials.
So,
None?
how many of these buildings are not being used or lived in?
There's at least 3 buildings that need their roofs fully repaired. Another 3 that are burned and damaged beyond a livable state. And 1 that is possibly utilizable next door to the trade hall if it was given a little bit of care and attention.
So,
That
how about that one? But how about we take the materials from the buildings that are kind of beyond repair? There must be something salvageable in there, no?
Oh, sure. Yes.
How about we disassemble those buildings in their entirety and use their materials to bolster up everything else? That's
Recyclables.
If that's something you wish to have done, then by all means.
That's fair.
And perhaps this is something that the training regimen the guards can do. They can help with that's physical labor that requires teamwork. No, Marlo?
I mean, I guess.
Something.
Like-
Same thing like cleaning the floor. So
So
Yes,
I mean, I guess we need a school. Yeah.
Marlo, we need a school.
And your qualifications as teacher, if I may ask?
I can read, I can write, and I am more educated than most.
Well, then congratulations. You are now the teacher of Rockhelm.
Excellent.
Officially,
I
so.
look forward to the school being built.
Just find a list of the guys who can help, and we can come up with some arrangement of payments per day so that they can get to work.
Well,
Disassembling and reassembling accordingly.
well, I appreciate it. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my ladies.
Have a good day. You may go.
All right, she leaves.
See, 2 down, Kia. Not a problem.
That was a lot easier than the last one.
Okay. This very stern-faced young woman approaches.
God.
Uh-oh.
She's,
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, indeed. I
May we
wish
help
to
you?
lodge a formal complaint.
Okay.
I wish to, if I may approach, it is of a somewhat delicate nature.
Just come on up here.
Proceed, please.
Oh yes. Proceed.
Well, my virtue was inadvertently stolen from me by Robert Smaldon only 2 weeks ago.
What?
Does he still have it? I'll go get it back for you.
Marlo.
Which one's him?
Marlo.
Wait. What?
If
What
I
happened?
somehow have offended you, or you seem to think that this is a joke, I knew I shouldn't have said anything.
No.
I-
Marlo does not understand what the word virtue means. Don't. And I'm gonna kind of
Please.
nudge Marlo. Please
tell
explain
us.
to us what happened.
Yes.
This is serious.
We went after a couple of drinks down at the Rock and Trader. We went down into one of the disassembled buildings to look at the stars, and well, one thing led to another, and he got a little bit free with his hands, and I told him that I was not that kind of maiden, and well, you can imagine what happened, and
this was the first time this happens?
of course.
And is there any talk or any knowledge in this town that this happened before with this man?
I wouldn't know.
And his name is
Yeah.
what again?
Robert Smalden.
Yeah, what is
Roberts. And what does he do in this town? What is his profession?
Honestly, I don't rightly know. I believe at times he does odd chores around the tavern, and he often carries and curries for merchants.
Perhaps
why
when...
can't we just get it back?
I will explain afterwards, Marlo. Perhaps a trial for this man? And if any other women want to come forward?
Other women.
I think a trial would be necessary. Of course, if others step forward with the complaints, the punishment is much steeper. I mean, as it is, he's in much trouble. If it is, and I'm not, and I'm going to look at a woman and say, not to say I don't believe you, but I have to cover my bases to ensure that if he truly is guilty, he is brought to justice.
Well, justice is all I ask.
Seems like he's taking mandate number 2 into his own hands.
Mandate number 2.
Radavan's
Okay.
message.
So,
To reproduce.
very well.
Thank you for letting us know.
We will, of course, handle this as delicately as possible. If this is truly what happened, I'm very sorry, but know that he will come to justice.
Well, if you are to apprehend him and or need me to identify the man, I am more than happy to do so.
I honestly don't want you anywhere near him. If it can be avoided. I mean, we know where he is, right? And we will handle this.
Very well, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my ladies.
Yes, you may go.
Robert Smalden. Such things, people think they can get away with it, with lawlessness being so reckless.
We need a jail or something.
That is why I asked when I first got here.
Yeah.
Theft is...
I thought this would be fun.
Believe me, it's not fun. I mean, if this is his truly first time, he is going to be in prison for 5 to 20 years, based on severity.
Interesting.
Just for the first time. Second time, castration.
Castration.
Something I know something Radavan knows how to do all too well.
I did it before long
That's
ago.
what virtue is. That's what
Yes.
virtue means.
Marlo, we'll get into it later.
No, we need to take care of this now.
There's still others here present. We don't want to cause a scene. Chandler, you can get another to approach, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good late morning.
Morning.
How can we help you, possibly?
Well, I am the sole proprietor of one single cow.
Single what?
Cow.
Cow. Okay.
Prior to the incidences that happened here in Helm before, I was a livestockist. I raised cow, sheep, pig.
All right.
I was going to request that if you would be willing to provide sufficient protection, I would happily go to the village you talked about, up
Yes.
Panarian Ridge, and purchase some animals and bring them back here.
And you have personal funds for this very reason?
I myself have the funds to purchase the animals, yes. Assuming if you would be willing to provide the protection and the ability to retrieve them.
And how many guards would you require for such a journey?
Well, as many as you can spare.
How's one?
I don't know that I would feel comfortable traveling all the way there with only one guard.
How about two of the younger ones?
Perhaps with all of us in town being more than capable in our own rights,
That's
we
fair.
could spare a little bit more.
No one's going to be attacking this place anytime soon
Hopefully.
without us knowing about it and destroying them, so perhaps
If-
the two in their 20s?
I have a horse. If I was to go, and if the guards also have horses, we can.
Do they?
No.
What-
We can be there in 3 days, acquire the livestock, and be back in. Well, coming back it'll probably take 5, so just over a week round trip.
So,
About
are there any other horses in this town, Chandler, that could possibly be spared temporarily?
Well, I know most of the merchants have horses and carts or horses of their own. Those
And-
that currently procure the stations at the trade hall.
So how about we find a few that would be here anyway for the duration? We pay them a small fee for renting, and have two of the guards that Kia offered. They loan the horses to aid in the speed of this journey, right? 8 days, right? That's what you said.
Or
Total?
thereabouts.
We can use some of the gold in our coffers for that very reason, so the merchants that are in this town get some compensation, and they don't feel stranded necessarily. And you have your guards and your speedy journey. Seem feasible?
I suppose if you're willing to send 2 able-bodied and capable men, me and my son can handle the livestock.
We will send two of our best.
Well, the two that were the most well equipped. I think we could have the guards go on a once per, since there's only one gate's open, right? 2 on, 2 off kind of deal, rotation. At least in the immediate future.
All right. Well, that seems fair enough.
Just keep warm out there, please.
Yes.
He's not here now, but of course, if I return with livestock, I would be willing to, to sell some of the livestock to the innkeeper.
Right.
That would be great.
Would you mind bringing some of the items from that others are selling in the Rockin' Trader to see if anyone buys anything when you go there?
Such as, I'm a livestockist, I'm a farmer, I don't know much about anything else.
I don't know. I don't know what's in there. Ointments.
Perhaps this trip could be an opening salvo of sorts. Kia, you could pen a letter wishing to open relations with this.
Correct.
Brackendale.
I could write something up.
That would
Brackendale.
be, yeah, so it won't just be you go there, return with livestock, but actual relations are established. And you would deliver these, of course, on our behalf. To whoever is in charge of Brackendale now. I don't honestly remember. Does that seem suitable? Would that work? Weatherman looks around. I look around.
We're talking to the guy, right?
I am.
Go.
We lose. Go.
Oh, hello.
Whatever you deem. I mean, I'm only asking for guards to go and purchase cattle.
But it can be so much more than that. So it shall be. We will utilize this trip to the full extent.
Well, if you can tell me what exactly I'm supposed to buy and give me the funds to buy it,
Of course, we'll make a list for you.
fair enough.
We'll have it to you by nightfall.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. He leaves out. Last one, a scruffy-looking individual approaches, wearing like a raccoon skin hat and furs. He walks up and says, I would like 2 things. First of all, I'd like a trade permit.
Okay.
Alright.
What
For
would
what?
your... Yeah.
I'm a furrier by trade. I am the fellow that Chandler mentioned. He said I should come and see you. I have gone through the northern gate on numerous occasions to the outskirts of the forest and the mountains. Hunting, trapping.
Great.
You are aware that we have decided to close the northern gate, so
I'm not
It's a slight
opposed to walking
inconvenience.
through the southern gate and around the side of the wall.
in that case, you may have a permit. We will write one up for you.
What is your name?
Roger Warden. Would you deem in this climate that furs and such things would be of a
Oh,
useful
yes.
value?
Much use.
Then, while I'm more than happy to go forth and gather such things for the town of Rockhelm's use, I request the possibility of some assistance.
Do you have anyone in mind for this role?
No, I was hoping that you could appoint a couple of guards to come with me.
You are aware we are stretched quite thin on guards.
I don't know. I was assuming that when you came here, you would bring your own men-at-arms with you. I heard that lords were coming, and
To be honest, we are our own soldiers, so we don't need anybody to look after us.
see, since the war, much of that forest to the south, or the southern part of the forest, was burnt.
Yes.
So I have to go rather close to the mountains to hunt successfully.
Where it is more dangerous.
Indeed.
When is your...
I
Trolls.
myself have seen... Well, I have not yet seen any trolls, but I have indeed seen several what I would deem to be orcish scouting parties.
Ugh.
So, when is your next scheduled excursion? sir?
Whenever I can go. Last
'Cause-
time I went was about a week and a half ago. I travelled up there, but, well, due to the hostile environment and the things that I saw, I was unable to successfully find time and felt safe enough to actually set any traps. If I'm gonna go back, I need some form of protection.
Why do the guards need to stand guard at the gate again?
You just want it to be an open door policy?
Right now, we could use any visitor we can. I mean, no, but this seems to be more helpful than a guard standing. Could you do with one guard, Roger?
I do
If he
better
was
with
our
no
best-
guards if that's the case. I'm more likely to be able to successfully hide on my own than with guards.
So you prefer a
don't
minimum
want
of 2?
I was
If
thinking
anything.
more of 4 to 6 myself.
Oh, we only have 4 guards.
But 4 would have to be then.
Then nobody will man Rockhelm.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Who can we get to stand guard?
Me. What a sight that would be, though. Hello, I am lord of this place. Come into my establishment.
We need to be able to delegate to Redovan.
I know, but
Is there any more people willing to be a soldier in this town?
There are 2 or 3 or 4 able-bodied people that I could think of if one of you would facilitate training. Of course,
Well.
I would need equipment, but I do believe that inside the trade hall there is a merchant who specializes in weaponry. Acquiring weapons
Wonderful.
for the trainees shouldn't be difficult.
I'm going to look at Marlowe. Would you like to take on 2 or 3 new trainees?
I don't do weapons.
just basic principles.
You know basic principles. You got this.
I will, of course, help when I can with the other things that you don't do.
I seem kind of not really there. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
All right. Oh.
Jesus.
Hey, Norman.
Sit down. Get out of here. All right. You're gonna have to deal with 2 guards to accompany you. If we can get these 2 to stand guard, the new ones.
I think we can. If you were to wait half a week, you could then take the 4 that we have remaining on your expedition. We'll have a few days of, unfortunately, less numbers. But would that work if you can wait half a week?
I'll wait as long as it takes for me to have sufficient protection.
All right. If you can wait, then we will wait.
If you can wait, we will. Yes, but you will have your 4 guards to assist you northwards, because
I
fur is,
appreciate
of
it.
course, quite valuable.
And I have no objection to. I understand that from what Chandler told me earlier this morning that there is a 5% levy tax on all that is sold. If you provide the guards, I am willing, as I have no actual cost in hunting these creatures, I am willing to pay what should seem fair, 15 or 20% profits.
That seems fair to me.
Fair enough. If you provide
It's
the
so
guards, then
important, maybe
20%
one of us
of
should
whatever
go.
I can, or of course, maybe a percentage of what I bring back instead, if you prefer. A percentage of the furs.
Yes. I
That
can
would-
work too.
That would work. Yes. How about that? I like that idea.
Fair enough. Then, what about every 3rd pelt belongs to you? I keep 2, you get 1.
Fair.
That works.
But then I only pay the 5% tax on anything I
works.
sell.
Fair enough.
Alright then, I will wait half a week as you requested.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that was the last one.
You may go if you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
whoops. Bye.
Sorry, I
All right,
apologize.
Anybody else? No?
Yes.
It would appear that the others are just here out of morbid curiosity. Oh, well, that'll do for today. As I said before, is this something you wish to do on a daily occurrence, or would you rather do this, every other week? Or, of course, it does seem that you have, the incident, with the young lady to take care of, and,
We do.
the possibility of apprehending Robert Smalding.
Perhaps twice a month.
Yeah.
No,
Once a week.
Do you know where this Robert guy is?
not off the top of my head, but I'm sure he's here in town somewhere.
How about for the immediate future, I will be here every morning from 8 to 10 or 8 to 11 as needed to address these issues as they arrive.
Right.
Obviously, if there's nothing to come for it, I will then
Every
do
day.
what else I need to do. But I will do that. You guys don't obviously have to because you probably will be busy with other things.
Oh, very good. May I suggest that you visit with the traders at the trade hall and see what merchandise they currently have available? It might open up your thought processes into what can be done there, and of course you can let them know that I am now officially appointed to govern the trade hall.
We will do that.
It
Yes,
would
let's
be
go.
more appropriate coming from you, after all. If I walk in there and say, "Oh, I'm in charge," they'll probably question that. So,
Okay. Everyone, you're all dismissed. Radovic's going to say as he gets up.
all right, okay. They all leave. Kind of, you hear them quietly mumbling to themselves. They're a weird lot, ain't they? Strange nobles they are. Weirdos. Alrighty. Okay. Where do you want to go now? What do you want to do?
Trade post.
Oh, God. Yes.
Not Marlo. She wants to find Robert.
Isn't it
Marlo-
fun being a
Marlo.
noble?
Marlo, what do you plan on doing with Robert? You're not going to punch him when you see him. That's not what we do anymore. Marlo. Marlo. Answer me.
You want me to go easy on someone like that?
No.
Then what
But-
does it matter what I do with him? I won't kill him.
Everyone needs a trial and needs to be proven guilty. Or at least more people need to speak up about him for us to.
You think there are more?
I don't know, maybe not, but justice needs to be served. As much as I want to fireball the shit out of him, we can't do it that way anymore. At least that's what Kel
Yes,
says.
that is not how we do things. There's a process.
There are commandments.
It would be irresponsible of us to just take what that lady said as probably truthful as it was, and just say that that was the way of things. Remember all the nobles that we have dealt with when we were commoners? I highly doubt it spreads too quickly if they are too unfair.
Why would she lie about something like that?
I don't honestly think she did lie. I think she was telling the truth, but we have to be sure.
Correct.
Well, how do you suppose we do that? Let's go get him now. He's not gonna tell us if he did it.
Marlo, please. This is what I do. This is my job. Let me do it the way I do it.
Which is to let somebody like that just wander around in the streets.
I'm not going to say he's guilty before I find out more on my own. Before I make a judgment. I am not tarnishing my reputation in this town with the first case of possible of a punitive nature.
It's not about your reputation.
It's about everything.
If he did it to one woman, he could do it to others.
I highly doubt she will do it in a couple hours that we're doing this.
You think that trade is more important?
I think getting things started is more important.
Than apprehending a criminal, a lawbreaker.
Again, it's an accusation of guilt. It's not proof of guilt.
But it could be true.
And it could be false.
But what's at risk if it's false?
Quite a bit. especially if we don't investigate
right
properly.
now, if okay, let's say we go on to the trader and we do the business there, and the accusation is false.
Yes.
Now, what if it's true?
Well, first off, if it's false, she slandered him, and that has its own probable penalties. If it's true, then we deal with it when we deal with it. I'm not saying we're not going to...
What if she said that she saw him murder someone?
Well, obviously that would be... Marlo?
More severe? It's still
it is
taking
more
something-
severe.
It's taking
By
something
law.
from someone. Something very important. She can't get it back. It's not something we can go give
I
back.
understand that.
So it might as well be like a murder.
Do you really want the first impression of this town is us just playing fast and loose with the supposed law? Barging into a tavern, arresting a man on sight.
No, I'm saying,
There's
what are you
more at
planning on
stake here
doing
than
when you address it? What are you planning to do?
Take him to a place where we can talk together in a private place and try to get more answers out of him.
Why don't we do that now?
Because this is right here, and this is something we can get started right now.
This is something we can start now, too. You don't think this is important?
Can we please just go into the trade hall and just get this all sorted?
I don't understand any of that anyway. How about you go to the trade hall and I'll wait for you back at our home?
Oh,
Okay.
I just stood there looking back and forth between both of them.
That's fine.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna walk off.
Okay.
Radavan, I think she's gonna go after him right now. I have this feeling.
Well,
Let her do it.
I don't want to let her do it. If you really suspect it, please go and make sure it doesn't happen. I will deal with this here.
What are we doing here again?
I will do this here. You should just check it out. Make sure, please.
Alright. I'm going
Thank
to
you.
follow behind Marlo.
All right. Okay, so you basically, so Marlo heads out and you kind of tail behind her. Radavan,
Yes.
you're going to the trade hall.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, let's do the trade hall. Let's go to the trade hall real quick first. Okay. All right. But there you go. And of course, Chandler has come with you. Right, so perusing the trade hall, basically, it's actually surprising the amount of traders that are here. There's somebody that seems to be selling all kinds of liquids and ointments and stuff like that. Another one that is selling torches and lamps. Another one ropes. One pots and containers. One various different cloths and textiles. One person that is selling a pretty decent selection of weaponry. And then you've got one fruit and veg seller and one that seems to... Well, actually, there's two of those. And one that seems to be more specialized in, you know, actually just fruit itself. There's even a person who is making food and selling it. Like hot food right there and there.
Okay. I'm gonna go to this empty table and use my plate armored hand to make a noise so everyone
Okay.
is attracted. Looks over.
Okay, yep, you get everybody's attention. The one thing you're noticing is there is no meat to be seen anywhere. Everything is vegetables or fruit. Protein seems to be severely lacking.
Okay. On order of Radovan Rainier, Kieliana, and Marlowe, this trade hall is now going to have a few changes.
Doesn't even know my last name, bastard.
It's Raphael. I just didn't know if you want people to know it or not. I know your last name, Spook. First off, Chandler is to be the new governor of the trade hall.
He politely gives us kind of an almost smarmy little nod.
This is effective immediately. Every table has a 3 copper a day buy-in. And there will be a 5% tax on all profits made at your given table. This will go to the town coffers to promote more trade and growth.
And before anybody else has chance to chime in, Chandler says, which I think is more than fair, considering previously it was 5 copper per table fee and a 10% tax. So obviously this is, considerably better. And of course, if you want a place to come and trade central like it is here, I feel sure that the trade routes will be established properly again soon, and this would be a wonderful opportunity to invest yourselves in. Few people are like grumbling and mumbling, but no one really voices any major objection.
The goal of this, everybody, is for Rockhelm to once again be a shining example of trade and cooperative conduct in the northern area of north of Iridian. It was before. Times have changed. The war changed it. The tribes that used to trade here, well, they're either gone or relocated. So this is the first step. First step.
See the weapons. The guy selling the weapons raises his hand.
Yes.
I would like to point out that in the absence of those tribes, trade here has been a bit thin. Most of my trade used to be with those tribesmen.
Well, we cannot force the tribesmen back into the lands that they
From what I understand, there ain't no tribesmen left.
We are beginning steps to open trade and open relations with Breckendale and other nearby towns to make up for this deficit that I am well aware of.
You think that can happen, do you?
We already have plans that are in motion for that very reason. I just came from the new town hall, and heard many people. One being a fur trader, another being a livestock technician.
A livestock technician.
Livestock technician. For that very reason, sir. I am here for at the time that is needed. We are here to increase productivity in this town and fix the problems.
I'm glad to hear it. Only you understand that Rockhelm was the trade center that it was primarily because of all those northern tribes and because of the towns such as Astardan to the north.
Well, I also seem to recall that the Scarbloods who often frequent in here caused trouble and were an unpleasant factor.
This is the truth, but it was rare that they visited, and mostly if you stayed out of their way, they were smart enough to stay out of ours.
Fair enough.
My curiosity is, with nothing north of here to trade with, is there really a trade in future left for Rockhelm?
How about we wait and see for the plans that are currently in motion to pan out? It's a legitimate concern you have, but I want to try this first.
Well, of course.
And I am well aware of the hardships, hence the more lenient taxation. If any of you have further issues, I will be at the town hall every morning from 8 to 11 to address these concerns. Obviously, I won't be there if no one comes to have with issues. Words are hard right now. I'm sorry. But
Fair enough.
otherwise, Chandler's in charge of this town hall. Of this hall. He will make the decisions necessary.
Yes, so it is still very early in the day, and I must request that each of you approach the table and pay your 3 copper pieces before you recommence trading.
I just look around to make sure if everyone complies, and
Well, as soon as they notice that you're actually watching, then they all slowly, begin to single file over there. And bottom line is, by the time it's all said and done, it gathers, about 3 gold altogether, which is a decent amount.
so I'm just going to go over to the Mr. Weaponsmith and look over his table.
All right. He has a pretty decent array. Far better than you would have probably expected.
Hello, sir.
Oh, good day, my lord.
I was told you're quite proficient with and you might be open to the idea of training some of the town guards that currently are stationed here.
Oh, I sell weapons. I'm not adept in their use.
Where do you get these weapons from? Just personal stock, or do you have connections?
My brother makes them.
He
He is a
does.
blacksmith, and we have a partnership. He makes the weapons, and I travel to sell them.
Where does he operate from?
My brother, he has a blacksmith shop in Iridian, sir.
Well, I imagine he's quite profitable.
Well, he does a good trade there, but we heard rumor that Rockhelm was getting itself back on its feet, so once again I decided to come up here and try my trade. I must confess, these last 4 weeks have been incredible slim pickings, and I am considering whether or not I am wasting my time.
Well, perhaps if I were to give you a little bit of gold to compensate your efforts, if you were to see about outfitting the guards in this town via your brother,
Well,
would that be something we'd work on?
I have all these weapons for sale. If there's anything here you would like to purchase on behalf of the town for the guards, I would more than happily sell them to you.
Is your brother an armor smith or a weaponsmith? I assume he's a weaponsmith with the weapons.
I do not have any armor for sale, sir.
No armor.
Or shields, no, just weapons.
Well, they seem to be... can I do an appraisal check to see the quality? If I can?
Sure.
It's not very good, so
From what you can tell, they all seem adequate. The problem that you see is they are all either big two-handed weapons or kind of more exotic stuff, like scimitars and stuff. The sort of thing that you would have sold to barbarians or to the women tribes and stuff like that. It's like his stock was tailor-made to sell to the tribes people.
I'm going to pick up one of the larger weapons and just kind of like...
Okay, so you pick up a very large, big, heavy, two-handed sword.
Perhaps the problem with your slim pickings is you're trying to target the wrong audience given the new realities.
Well, this appears to be fairly obvious. Of course, we were not aware that there were no tribesmen until we got here.
So how much would these items go for on their own?
Well, depends what you wish to purchase. One of these fine two-handed swords or a large two-handed axe I usually sell for around 25 gold pieces. These scimitars or swords here for around 15.
Makes sense.
The daggers for 3 to 5.
Perhaps, if I were you, I do honestly think and hope that this town becomes a trading center worthy of its past. You tell your brother to change your stock. Would that be feasible without much penalty to you? Try to sell more traditional items?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, if I leave here, I doubt I shall return.
that's unfortunate, because
The attraction for selling weapons here was to sell these kind of weapons to the tribesmen. Now I understand that there are no tribes here to sell to. It seems... Well, to be honest, I'm sure that I could do better traveling to another town. Possibly Lusker or something like that, where there's more open trade, especially from across the seas. Some of these weapons would be more apt to sell there.
That is honestly unfortunate. I would love to have some way of retaining you here with something more traditional and realistic, given the new relations we are trying to start. I will... How long do you plan to stay here? Did you plan to stay here before this new information?
Well, quite honestly, I was going to leave yesterday, but then when I heard that you'd arrived, I decided to stick around a few days to see what precisely what happens and what you plan to do.
And now that you know, you will probably plan to leave as soon as possible. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm still willing to stick around for 2 or 3 days, especially if there's any of these items that you would like to purchase to make at least my stay here this last week and a half worthwhile.
Alright, so I'm going to look at the daggers to see if there's anything that could pass as a letter opener, possibly, you know?
There's 3 daggers that are useful.
Okay.
And there's about 3 swords that would be regular swords that would be of some use. The rest of it is either exotic or two-handed.
So I'm going to pick up the nicest dagger I see, and I'm just going to say, I will take this.
5 gold pieces then, please.
I will fork over 5 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you for your patronage.
Well, stick around. Maybe we'll work something out that will be profitable to you and to this town.
And these guards, is there anything here that you could possibly see fit to outfit them with? I have no pole arms, but...
Honestly, that I will let you know. I will come back.
Very well. Thank you then.
You're welcome.
Alrighty.
I'm going to give Chandler a look, and then I'm just going to leave. Like, make sure he's on top of things. And I'm going.
Okie dokie. Well, back out in the town, while this is going on... So, Marlowe, you head outside. Kia follows you. Marlowe, I do believe you actually do go back to the house. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
So she does. So all your suspicions were for naught. What do you want to do, Kia, once you get back to the house with Marlowe?
Marlowe, are you okay? You don't seem okay with any of this. Even when we were sitting in the townhouse, you seemed a little off.
Leading a town and governing a town's not... I'm not smart enough for this, Kia. I need to be doing things, and every time, I think I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm told, no, that's not right, and...
I understand.
They want me to train the soldiers, but...
Yeah. I think that would be a noble thing for you to do here. Obviously, sitting there listening to complaints was not your forte.
It's not listening to the complaints. It's the once I hear the complaint, I want to do something about it.
Immediately.
And then just telling this woman, we heard you, we'll do something about it, and then, we'll look into it, and then it just seems so much more important than everything else.
Right.
I can't imagine how she feels, and she just has to wait. All of this other stuff is going to take time.
I think all Radovan was trying to do was step into the Rockin' Trader and announce Chandler as the governor, and we will start looking into Robert today even. We'll find out where he's at, we'll look around, we need to gather some kind of proof or talk to her more, talk to her friends, see if there's witnesses. I know it's not taking care of it immediately, but it is on the right steps to it, if that makes any sense. It will be handled if I have anything to do with it. I'm on your side. I am a woman too. And Radovan maybe doesn't get that as much, but I get it.
It's just this is kind of what we've been doing this past almost a year, and is it weird that I missed the war? Like,
no. I miss doing a lot of things. And then I'm going to glance towards my bag where Cal maybe is. I don't know.
He is right now. He's curled up in there asleep. I
am trying to change and not be so war thirsty.
See, that's Cal being pulled out of the bag as we speak.
I think you will find your place here. Even though you don't think you can train people, I think you can. You're not proficient maybe with their weapons, but there's a lot you can do for them and teach them.
I guess I don't feel useful. I don't understand most of the stuff that you guys talk about, and
you are the most badass woman I have ever met. Did you know that? Seeing
Really?
you punch dragons. Do you want to know what I did in Iridian for the first 3 months I was there? When I saw that there were men dead and all that was left were women and children, I started something called the Marlowe Initiative. Marlowe standing for Mighty and Resilient Leaders of Women Empowerment. And I helped women learn new trades to keep the town going.
really?
Yes, I dedicated it to you because you're the most empowered woman that I know, really. Cal doesn't agree.
Yeah, Cal's not a... Cal thinks you're full of shit.
You will find a place here, and you will lead.
I'll try my best.
And we will get Robert Smalden. He probably has a small dick.
That's why it's called Smalden.
Last name. We'll cut it off. Not much to cut off, but we'll cut it off.
Thanks, Kia.
Now let's go get Radovan and do stuff. Because we are the leaders of this place for some reason.
Okay.
Alright.
Alrighty. Okay, so you're going to go and meet back up with Radovan.
Yes.
Alright, well, that is a good enough place to stop. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter @HowWeRoll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Shagget here. On How We Roll, I play Radovan Rainier, War Priest of St. Cuthbert, who just so happened to author a new academic book that's coming soon. It's titled Libido Rectification for the Required Propagation of Arconis' Depleted Men-at-Arms. Or more affectionately titled, Mandate Number 2, and You. You can follow me on Twitter @aneb_convos for upcoming book excerpts. Just to get the hype going, push up the sales. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Marlowe Rayfell, monk and resident badass for How We Roll. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so using @DragonSpooker, or follow my Twitch channel, which I sometimes stream on, twitch.tv/TheDragonSpooker.
Hi, thanks for watching another episode of How We Roll. I am Jane Ivana, and this is my lovely cat, Norman, who really doesn't want to be here right now. You can follow me on Twitter, @JaneOnTwitch with a 0. Shh, don't tell him, he doesn't like birds. No. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/jnirvana, so you can find me there. And I guess that's all we got. You got something to say? Nope. Peace, suckers. Bye.